India's first social stock exchange has finally gotten a company to get listed, that is an NGO. And we are joined by Mr. Ashish Chauhan, who is the MD and CEO of National Stock Exchange. Sir, congratulations on getting the first company on the, getting listed on the social stock exchange. Could you help us understand how many such companies have been associated with NSE?
This, as you said, this is the first sort of NGO which has listed one of its projects. They have raised 1.8 crore rupees. Its name is Unnati Foundation. It's a Bangalore-based foundation, and they are going to use this money to educate 10,000 children across 5-6 states. So effectively, it's one state NGO raising money from many other states and then investing into even further other states, right? So that's where this is a very unique platform across the world. This was conceptualized by Honorable Finance Minister in 2019 during her budget speech, where she had proposed a social stock exchange. And since the name was stock exchange, it was decided to be regulated by SEBI. But SEBI, being a securities regulator, SEBI had set up a committee to figure out how to regulate this particular activity, and that's why that committee had come out with instruments which could basically be considered as securities and be listed on stock exchanges. That's how they then, after that, they came out with their consultative papers, and then the approval of SEBI board, and then regulations were issued. And we had to actually train the merchant bankers, the lawyers, because they are used to doing IPOs and continual listing of profit-making companies, not for charitable purposes. And so they had to be trained, the expectations had to be raised. The other side, the NGOs are not used to giving so much information that is required for listing. And so we had to work with them, make them ready to do it, and create processes for ensuring that the people who are donating money are able to get periodic information that is correct and auditable. And those are the kind of things we had to do. That's why it took almost 4 years for us to go live from the idea which Honorable Finance Minister had given in 2019 to today. But I am delighted that the first NGO project has been listed, and I hope we'll have many more going forward, which will help India, the prosperous India, also reach out to not so prosperous India to help it out.
Right. So you mentioned, that how the securities will not be traded, right? Could you just help our viewers understand what it means exactly, because it's not something that will be issued, So how will it exactly work, like the social stock exchange?
In a way, it's like any other instrument. So of course you may be able to buy in case you want to buy, but it's not going to give you any returns, right? So the original buyers of those instruments would continue to hold those instruments in their hand, but it's not supposed to give any profit sharing or dividends or other things. So naturally, the interest of people in trading that may be low. You never know what happens in the future. But effectively, this is a construct that has been created where it's called zero coupon, zero principal instrument, which will be, it's like a bond which is issued, which the donors actually subscribe to, and the NGOs get that money. And then, of course, it can be passed on, what is called trading. But the kind of trading you see in Reliance Industries or those shares you wouldn't see here. But the purpose here is very different. That money which the NGO raises is actually used up in the project which they have committed to undertake. And the audit and other information will continue to be given to the investors who are holding that.
So SEBI actually relaxed a few norms related to social stock exchange in its recent board meet, So has that led to kind of seeing more, interest from the companies also now coming up with their own sort of listings at SSE?
No, certainly. I think SEBI has been doing a phenomenal job in every area, but more importantly in social stock exchange also, because it's a unique initiative which in a way India can be proud of. And SEBI has been consulting with the companies, with the NGOs, with the experts in the market, with tax experts and everyone. And that's where they were told that the amount which they had capped of a minimum 50 lakh rupees per bond, which was very high, and so it should be reduced, which after deliberation SEBI reduced, and the outcome you can see within few weeks of SEBI reducing. We have now the first listing happening on the social stock exchange. So I think SEBI has been very alert and they've been listening to the market.
So, sir, as far as NSE is concerned, how do you help this helping the exchange overall?
Anyways, the exchange's role is a social role. Exchange, usually in a stock market, our role is to act as a catalyst for capital formation in India. That is to collect money from the savers and provide the money to the people or the companies that require that money. And of course, those companies, when they make profits, they share it with those investors who invest money in that. So in a way, the money which companies use go into creating jobs, and when those companies do well, that creates wealth for the nation. And that's where our function primarily is a social function. Of course, we act as a regulator also to ensure that the function performance is fulfilled. But similarly, social stock exchange is actually social work, right? So, but our job will there also be to promote that, but more importantly to regulate that area where people who are donating money are able to get adequate information. Also, the auditors are able to audit the outcomes and also where the money is spent, so that the donors are comfortable that their money is being spent on the right areas, and also the outcomes are as per what were projected.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us.